Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. We're down a rabbit hole today. We had previously looked at this Tecumseh powered Toro GTS. It's the 6.5 horse. I am 35 feet down a rabbit hole, and I'm not going to go more than 40 feet. That's my limit. 35 is plenty. 40 is going to be way too down the rabbit hole for me. So we had looked at this thing, the 20007. It's a 2004 on the deck. The engine's an 03. What we had done on this is changed the carb out. I had tried to rebuild the carb that was on it, and it was too far gone, wasn't idling. You guys helped me put the new one on from Fleabay. We got it running, then discovered a broken traction control cable. It had broken halfway up, so now this is a turd down the hole. So what had happened, I did find another cable actually in my stash that worked on it. Went to engage, not really engaging, kind of not being responsive. I turned it off, came over to the wheels, and sometimes it would catch and then other times it wouldn't. Felt like the gear in here was grinding, so I disassembled everything, as you can see. Took off the bottom cover here, 4 bolts. These are 10s. And what I had seen was dust and dirt, just filled, no grease. It was all dust. Apparently it was pulling in dust somehow. It was just caked. So I looked down there, I separated it, which I'll do now, and the cover to the bearing fell off. So the bearings are all in sand and the pinion's worn down there. I'll show you that in a minute. So this thing's gone. We'll explain what I'm going to do. So you can buy all the components for this, but by the time you do, it's not going to be worth it. So the pinion comes through this bearing, and this is what you're seeing here. This black plastic there is this thing. So it had fallen down to the bottom of the gear here and got all bent up and chewed up. It should be, the bearing should be enclosed and not open to sand. So that's that. Pay attention to this. So let me separate this for you. Bring the shaft out. Just look at the sand caked in there. I took a hose and blasted the dust. It was real fine ground up dust. You could see the bearings in there in the case. I'm getting the sun so you can see that. And the pinion's all torn up. The teeth on the pinion is gone. So this thing is disastrous. I could replace the pinion and the bearing, but I went to AliExpress. I can get the whole transmission minus the gears and the spacers for $27 plus tax. So I'm going to do it reason I'm going to do it is because I went around in my junk section. I found one Tecumseh with the, I call it the four-holer transmission. And it was a high wheeler, which doesn't make a difference. It's the same front wheel drive transmission. It had blue paint splattered on. I believe I got it in a group. I kind of remember it, but both rear wheels, the plastic had disintegrated. It was just the hub remaining with no plastic tread. So I thought, really, I got to do on that one is put some wheels on it. Why sacrifice that machine? The deck's in better condition than this one. So I figured for 27 and some change, I'm just going to get another axle. So as far as the gears and the spacer in the Half Moon and the spring, you can get a kit with all of this. It's 12 pieces, 6 per side, and that's like $10.50. So 27 and some change and $10.50. So 37, under $40. I can get all the hardware and the transmission out of China. Might be from a local warehouse, but AliExpress is a Chinese company. So I went over to my brother's, looked over there. I was hoping to find one with a rusted out deck, and then I wouldn't have been so sad about crippling a mower. So that's why I said I'm in a rabbit hole with this. With the transmission, I got the drive cable I had to buy, but I had it in stock. I put that on right away. I went through my Toro cables and found one. And it's going to require bearings. We'll discuss that next. Whoops, I just kicked you in the shin. I'm sorry. So I already popped this one off. I figured I'd do the bearing work, wait for the transmission to come in. So you can see how crusty this thing is. I turned them upside down, put a chisel or a long screwdriver. There's a little gap in there that you can catch. And then just tap it out, and it popped right out. So you can see how short this thing is. So a new one's nice and tight, packed with grease. So I'll do the same thing on this one. You can see how bad this one looks. Ton of space here. So that was dancing up and down. So you just take new bearing set, put it on a block of wood, and get a socket that goes around the lip, and then tap it down. Don't get a socket that just goes around here on the grease shield. You're going to pop everything through. So that's that. Oh, and since this thing was so well used, there's some wear here on the shaft. So it's probably time just to, even if I did mess with the gearing, it's showing some wear. But I don't care. So it's going to look something like that when it goes on. There's a little bit of play there, but these aren't probably up to specific tolerances. You can buy these at Toro. They're probably $5.50 each. You could get a pack of 4 for $4. the Fushi Sushi Bearing Company, made in China. So what else? So I think we're at 36 feet actually. I think we got some room to spare. I think after that's done, this will be okay. Since I'm going to wait for the parts, I'll probably degrease this thing, peel the rest of this paint off, and do some paint work here. I mean, if I'm going this far with the new transmission for this 2004, might as well clean up this part of the deck. The other side isn't so bad, but there's some showing right here. Oh, and we might, no, we don't need new wheels. That's what I was thinking. We don't, because when well, maybe we do. I popped them off. Gearing is fine, but we have tread wear. That's the only disadvantage. There's not a bit of plastic missing. So surprising. I figured with it jumping up and down as much, the teeth on the gears would be toast. Okay, so that's my turd update. You guys have a good day. I'll do some more work on this, put it to the side, and just wait for these parts to come in. Tell me what you think. Wasting my time on it just because of the age and condition. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a home run, but I get it out of my inventory, I guess, is the bottom line. Some are good, some are bad. You just got to plow ahead. This just happened to be a bad one. Came in with a lot of issues that needed to be addressed. Just kept going down the rabbit hole as I was looking at it. Oh, here's some of the dirt that was in the transmission. You can see a lot of silver specks there. So I don't know how so much sand got in here. It's kind of weird. It was just full of sand. Kind of crazy. Anywho, that's all I got. You guys have a good day today. Appreciate you coming out. When crap comes in for this, we'll revisit it. But I got to move on to a project. This kind of threw out the anchor today. I need to fix something, push this to the side, put all the parts in a bag, and knock out something that I can get ready for sale. Okay, you guys have a good day. Adios, amigos. Tip your waitress and wait staff.